Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to be doing a deck profile on my new Maiden deck. So this one is Maiden Trailing Rose back. Those who saw my previous, like my original Nectar Stride deck from earlier this year when the trial deck came out with Asha, they saw that I was running Trailing Rose. So I've been running Trailing Rose with Asha the whole time until now. So Trailing Rose, since she got a Legion Revival unit in the form of this card, Maiden of Rambling Rose, she kind of broke off and made her own deck again. So this is basically my third Nectar deck, the other two being the Ranunculus and then the Musketeers. So this is my take on Maiden of Trailing Rose. So for Maiden of Rambling Rose, because it's Legion, if you're familiar with decks like the Cross or even like the CEO Amaterasu Revival Legion deck, or even the Riviera one for Bermuda Triangle, this deck functions the same way. It's basically a Legion that is supposed to make use of an old card from either, usually it's Season 1 Vanguard, because this was Season 1, BT05. So Maiden of Trailing Rose is pretty good on her own, just like the N was good on its own, but compared to the Legion play, Maiden of Trailing Rose is really not nearly as good, not as strong, doesn't put as much pressure. So Rambling Rose is usually going to be the Vanguard that you try to ride first, and she has a pretty good effect too. So just leave it at that. So that's the grade 3 lineup, very straightforward. For grade 2s, all the Maiden cards that I was using, basically, that I took out of the Asha deck to make this deck are in here. So Maiden of Cherry Bloom is in here. It's not GB1 restricted. None of the Vanguards use GB1 or GB2. So, and this is Vanguard Orbiter Guard. So it can set up the board really early. That's what I like about it. Next, for Wisteria Knight. Wisteria Knight is, I guess, the grade 2 form of the Break Ride Master Wisteria, or whatever his name was. But yeah, this guy, he's a new card, GB1, so the deck does need to stride once in order for him to do something. But basically, he is your 11k when you have 2 of them on the field, 2 or more, but it just, if you have another one, he's 11k, and then when he hits, he can counterblast 1 to draw a card. So I'm running him. I may take him out, though, because like I said, the deck doesn't focus that much on striding, but honestly, striding once per game, even if your deck doesn't use any stride fodder or anything like that, it's most likely going to happen. So I think he's still fine the way he is. And then next, I have 3 Knight of Transience Maradream. So I've always had these cards since GB2, but I never used them until now. And it is GB1 based, so I run 3 of it instead of 4. I'd rather run the Cherry Bloom because she's not GB1 restricted, so it's easier to set up the field early. And it's Vanguard or Rear Guard. This is only Rear Guard. But it's still a pretty good pick. Otherwise, there's like lots of choices. You can go with the Libra clone. It's a Maiden card. You can go with the 10k vanilla even, or something like that. So lots of choices. This is the one I chose. Grade 1, 2 Maiden of Kana, mainly because it helps you, it helps this deck power up the columns, because it doesn't have that many ways, unless they're striding. And then 4 Knight of Transience. This is the grade 1 equivalent of this guy, so they go hand in hand. They work the same way that Cherry Bloom and this card, Maiden of Cherry Stonework. Only difference is the GB1 cards, they call in standing position, these call in rested position. But these aren't GB1 restricted, so 4 of those. And then 4 of the Old Perfect Guard, so I finally get to use these again. So 4 Maiden of Blossom Rain, because it's really good, it's a good Perfect Guard, original. For the triggers, I actually stuck with the same trigger distribution as I did with my Ranunculus deck. So I am running 4 stands. All of the stands are different. They are basically Flame of Victory clones, Watering Elf, one of the better stands. or just one of the better triggers for Neo Nectar in general. And then 4 more critical. So 8 critical, 4 stand, and then 4 heal. So the original heal. So same lineup as the other one, just the triggers are different looking. And then 1 Maiden of Physalis, because Maiden of Physalis is still one of the best starters for any Neo Nectar deck outside of Musketeers. The only other one I could recommend running is possibly the Musketeer Grade 3 Searcher. I forgot his name, it's an Italian name. But I still think Physalis is good because you need to set up your columns, because the deck still does stride a couple times per game, like 2 times. And during those times you want to have your field set up correctly. So Physalis is still really good. And it doesn't use Counterblast. For stride units, 2 Maiden of Arborea, just really good first stride target. Or even last stride target. 1 Multivitamin Dragon, it's good if the field's set up for it. And then 1 Primavera, there's no reason not to run this. Although the deck does counterblast quite a bit, and they don't have a lot of ways of unflipping the damage, so it's harder for the deck to call this out, but it can come out. It's just there because it can. Again, that's why we run this starter, no counterblast. Then the Jingle Dragons, and then the Asha. So exactly the same lineup that I was running in my Ranunculus Asha build. So this is good because it doesn't use Counterblast, and you do not need to have Asha in the heart or Ranunculus in the heart. You can just straight up use this. So that's why these cards are actually quite good in that regard. So these newer stride units. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below regarding this Maiden of Trailing Rose, Rambling Rose deck. Or if you're running the deck, what type of lineup are you going with? Let me know in the comments, guys. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.